Hello, students and teachers of Overflow. I was like, Overflow's a mystery school, but as we know, the teacher is a student and the student is the teacher. So oftentimes it's the students who are in the school that are inspiring the teacher, which at the moment is me. In the future, we may be seeing, by the way, some things landing. Maybe seeing some other teachers coming in and hosting some transmissions. So we'll see about that in the new year. Today I wanted to talk about something that's been in the collective field very strongly over the past few days, and that is the topic of AI art. So a lot of people, I'm filming this, what day is it? December 8th. So around this time, there's a lot of people on social media. They're like posting these like characterized, artistified, is that a word? Photos of themselves that are AI generated. And it's bringing up like a lot of different interesting nuanced discussion. And I'm not going to go into all of that, but something that I did want to pull out of that collective conversation and give my perspectives on it in a way that resonates and relates with the energy and the intentions and the vision and the mission statement of Overflow, the mystery school, which is a mystery school focused on the experience of being a creative human being. I just wanted to pull some tidbits out of that and talk about it. With the AI art coming out, which is so well done, by the way, and as someone who has a background in computer science, there has been so much development and energy and love and hard work that has been poured into creating these models that can so accurately and beautifully create these like visually stunning images and imagery. But one of the understandable concerns about AI art is like artists are feeling vulnerable, and they're almost feeling, there's this energy of like feeling attacked by this new player in the game, so to speak. So AI art was never a thing, and artists, if like, it's just human artists that were creating graphic designs and physical designs and things like that. And now people are forecasting out and being like, oh, if this computer can generate these artistic pieces way more efficiently at a way lower cost than I can as a human, because I'm not a machine, where do I stand in this equation? Like, how will my work be valued, etc.? And it's a very, I understand the concern. It is literally like hitting that root chakra energy center of like survival, especially for artists who are like working to be full-time artists and want to have their illustrations and designs and out there and make that their primary source of income. Or like one of their major source of income. So I completely understand. But what I wanted to bring forth in this video is a more empowering perspective. And that is that nobody can take your art away from you. You know, like, it's the same concept as competitiveness. It's just in general, it's like it's the same patterning or fear of competition. And with the creativity, like when we are truly tapped into our unique channels and we are bringing forth what is truly meant only for us to bring forth in only the ways that we can, there is an inherent, indisputable value that comes from your work, that is felt from your work when you are creating in alignment with the rest of life, with the rest of creation. And there is no other person, no other machine, no other entity that can take away what you receive back from exerting your energy into those creations. So yeah, like I think there's gonna be a lot of cleanup. I think that there is going to be like job loss and things like that. But when I think about it from the perspective of overflow and creation from overflow and moving out of the method of hustle, I feel like it is a really positive thing for this cause, because it's almost like forcing us to connect to that inner fountain of creativity in a new, like it's like kind of forcing us to change our relationship with our creativity and seeing it less as outcome based and less about what can this creation get me, and more about why do I want to create. You know, like there's so many artists out there in the world that are just creating for money, and I was one of them, you know, and which is why I'm now the creatress and founder of Overflow the Mystery School, because I recognized how much harm that was like how much harm and dissonance that was creating in my life and in my creation. So now I created Overflow, which is a different way to create, but there's so many artists that are on that same path, and when their outcomes are threatened by, for example, a new player that is like they feel to be in competition with, it's going to force them to undergo a new initiatory process with their creativity and figure out, like, first of all, I feel like there's going to be many people who are no longer going to engage in creative activity as much as they were, because maybe they were only engaging with it because they were feeling like they could get money out of it. But what happens if the money is kind of not the main, it's not as guaranteed, you know? I mean, it was never guaranteed, but you know what I'm saying? Then people are going to be reconfiguring, like, why are they creating, you know? And in that process of reconfiguring and reprocessing the relationship with creativity, I feel like they're going to naturally tap into that inner resource and understand and begin to experience that actually it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It doesn't matter what any other human is doing, what any other machine is doing. None of that matters if we're creating in alignment with our own creative channel, and if we are truly tapped into our own essence and creating things from that essence that nobody else can create in the same way. People will feel it, you know, and people will be magnetized. It is more than just our mind-made marketing that brings people into our field, you know. There's so many seen and unseen forces at play that bring our audience to us, that bring clients to us, whatever, you know, what brings like people that we feel are external to us, they bring them into our field. And another thing that I wanted to share about this is also with human creativity, there is such an energetic transfer that is, it's like when, as we talked about in some of the previous Overflow transmissions, like when there's a creative entity or creative energy that wants to come through, it's in its raw form in the higher realms, and then it comes through our bodies, you know, we filter it and refine it through our human bodies, and what we output comes after that process has occurred, and we've like infused so much of our essence and our humanness into that creation. With a machine, it's a different system. The energetic transfer, the way that this like raw creative energy is being processed, it's going to be outputted in a completely different way, in a different configuration, energetically speaking, like how it's going to be felt and how it's going to be interacted with once the creation is put out into the world. It's going to be different. Bringing it back to a real world example, when people will be buying for example, let's say they want a painting for their home, right? And there's one they have a certain style that they like. So they can go for the cheaper option, which is like hiring these machines to like create the print for them. It's not, and then versus if they chose the higher investment option and like paid an actual person who poured their love and energy and soul into this creation, you know, when that object or painting is hanging on your wall, it's gonna feel different. You know, you're going to experience it differently in your reality as the receiver of the art. And so as artists and as creator beings, like, we literally have nothing to fear, because there's going to be people who want the quick, cheap art, and then there's going to be people who really want to value and like want the full experience of having someone else's soul infused into an object and having that in their home and energetically like transmitting a specific vibe. And I think what's going to happen in reality is that most of us were going to be in both sides. You know, sometimes you do just want, you don't have the resources at hand, and you do just want to have a beautiful space, and you can only purchase the AI art, for example, and sometimes like you do have more resources and you do have the intention and you do want to bring in like a bigger investment piece and feel all those like good feelings from it. And we're gonna like hop between the two. Like my base perspective with all of the machine automation stuff, that like this whole conversation, it's like, it's just basically, it is imparting more freedom onto us, you know, and we get to decide as individuals what we want and what we don't want. It's not like the AI art coming in is now taking away from like artists who are creating. You know, like artists who are creating, who genuinely have that desire within them, they're going to continue creating. You know, the AI art's just adding to the different possibilities that we have to play this, like to use in this game. So like if you think of reality and life as a game, it's like it unlocked a new section of the store, you know, and now you can have like, so you can configure your physical reality and make your spaces, it's more easier now basically to make your spaces more beautiful. And so is that really a bad thing? Because as someone who really values beauty and visual aesthetics, I truly believe that beautiful surroundings have the ability to uplift mood substantially and uplift like motivation levels, energy levels. So yeah, this time I was talking specifically about AI art, but this will apply to any sort of competition that we feel with our creation processes. So even if we're not like a painter and we're not like feeling as attacked by the AI artists, maybe we're a coach, you know, like maybe we're out here building out a mystery school, and then we look around and we're like, oh, that person's doing that too, and that person has a subscription service too, and like feeling competition or feeling the illusion of, or yeah, perceiving an illusion of competition. There's no real competition, because people could have the same format, they could have the same calls, they could have the exact same structure as you. They could even have like the exact same, so for example, if someone else was doing a mystery school and they also had like transmissions like in the formats that I do, what's gonna fill those structures, what's gonna fill those transmissions, what's gonna fill those calls, what's gonna fill their community space? It's going to be unique, it's going to be different. First of all, they can't copy you fully. In general, it's impossible. And second of all, even if they take elements of things that you do, it's not gonna, like, the final product is not gonna be felt as potently as your final product is. Because if you're truly creating from your own unique, aligned, creative channel, there is an energy that you're bringing, a raw energy that you're bringing through your system and taking out, and or outputting. And in the outputted creation, that energy is going to be, the potency of that energy is going to be dependent on your creative process and how you brought it through your body and what happened when you were doing that. So if someone's just copying, they're basically trying to shortcut it. You know, they're not even putting anything through their body, they're not filtering anything through their own system. They're just taking something from their external world, putting things together in the external world, and then outputting in the external world. With like true creativity and true human creative expression, where it's something in the external, we bring it through our bodies, we bring it fully into our systems, and then it comes back out in the external world, you know? And there is a huge difference in how those creative outputs are received on the other end by whoever is meant to receive them. So yeah, I hope this sparked some contemplations within you and some just like reminder of the knowingness that you literally have nothing to fear. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I love you so much.